Our level 1 complex is a 4-exercise complex, which includes a bent over row, a Romanian deadlift, overhead press, and backwards lunge. Now I'm using dumbbells for this complex as an example, but you can use a barbell and you can use a pair of kettlebells. So I'm going to run through the exercise first, and then I'll break it down and run through the coaching points afterwards. Okay, so we start with the bent over row. Now we put bent over row first because it's the highest skill exercise out of the 4. And so if we do that first, we're less likely to be under fatigue and more likely to execute the exercise with good form. Okay, so that's the complex. I just did 4 reps of each, but it gives you an idea of the kind of transition speed between exercise. This complex at level 1, we set it at a 50 rep set, so that's 10 reps per exercise. Obviously we've got step by lunges, which is 10 one leg, 10 the other. That's why it's the 50 rep set. So technique wise, bent over row. So always set up from standing rather than from the ground up. So from this position, you're going to push your hips back and get your back parallel with the ground without the weight or set. So into this position, back parallel. Now what we're looking to do to offset some of the torque and load in the lower back, I want my hips to be a lot further back than where my knee is. So increase this distance. Don't be too upright, because then we're going to have a lot of tension around here. So sit back in that position. Brace your abs, again, reducing the torque and load through that lower back. And then weights hang underneath the shoulder. You want to think about pulling back and up at the same time, okay? So your top position is here. My forearm is pretty much vertical. Squeeze the shoulder blades, little pause, so we own the top of the pull back down to position. What it's not, so if I do a couple of good reps, and then what it's not is this, where we're just pulling our hands to our armpits. So essentially that's just going to be a bent over bicep curl. So it's back and up to try and get these lats working here. So that's exercise 1, the bent over row. Next one is the Romanian deadlift. So weights come to the front. We're always trying to set our shoulder blades back, down, and essentially squeeze your arm into the side, or squeeze your armpits. Keep that locked in. We hinge from the hip, so we unlock the knee by taking the hips back, and ideally you want to get to a position where our back's parallel with the ground. Now again, if I just take the weights away, so you can see, trying to get your shin vertical, so we don't want the knee to track forward. And again, sitting back, feel stretch and load through the back here, through the bottom. Use those muscles and that stretch and tension to then pop back up. Now, depending on your flexibility, mobility, you may feel end range at this angle. That's fine. Pull up. You might be able to get down to this position. Great. Pull up. And for those people that are a bit more kind of mobile in their hip, they go below this kind of horizontal whilst keeping a neutral spine. We don't mind that, but just pull through. Okay, that is the Romanian deadlift. Then we go through to overhead press. So the weights are going to start in front and to the side of the shoulder. So in front on here, slightly to the side, back into here. So bracing your abs, don't want a big arch, so abs on. From there, you're going to push up and back and also in. So upwards, backwards and in. So we should start wide here and then we finish narrow in on that position. Remember, we're going up and back, so the weights start in front of the shoulder in on here. So what it's not, we see a lot of, is this kind of crashing down on top of the shoulder here. So make sure that we get those bells moving forwards and back as well as up and in. So that's the overhead press. Last one, we go back down to suitcase carry position, just down by your side for these step back lunges. Make sure when we do the backwards lunges, the leg that stays fixed, good 80% of the load through, if I come forwards a bit. So the back leg is just for a bit of assistance, loads of weight in my front leg, pull through. What we don't want to see is this, loads of weight on the back foot and then pushing forwards. So keep the weight on the front foot, pull through, and then same on that other side. And then we're there. So pretty easy with the exercises to execute. Like we say, the bent over row, the first exercise is the highest skill, and that's why we've put it at the start, so you can execute it with less fatigue than you would be at the end of the set. Any questions on any exercises, get in touch and we'll put through level 2 barbell complex through tomorrow. Enjoy.